Today I wanted to show you some details on how I do this freeze board. We call it a freeze board. It's basically the bottom piece of trim that goes below siding. And in this case I use PVC because it is directly touching the ground. So I want to show you each step of the way how I scribe it, how I cut my miters and seal it up. So getting started, I'm going to run my laser and 6-foot level. This way I can get a baseline of where I'd like the top of my first freeze board to go. And I will use this throughout the whole entire process as my base. So you want to make sure you take your time and get this right. So I'll measure the height on each side of the baseline and mark it onto my board and go ahead and cut it at that angle, going back and forth to check, make sure it fits well. Once I know that it fits well, I'll go ahead and cut that 45. Got a dangling participle, but that's okay. So I'll test fit it one last time. Looks perfect to me. As I'm going through it, I may end up scribing it again. So I'm using the table saw and eyeballing my cuts. I'll check for perfection bubble. Looks good. Now moving on, I'm going to be doing my secondary piece. I'm going to mark both sides off the 45, make sure I get a good clean cut. I want to make sure to cut it a little bit long just in case I need to adjust it. You can see I have that gap there, so once I cut it to the exact length and I'm happy with my miter, I'll go ahead and put some tape on just to kind of keep it in place while I measure the next piece. Really don't want to install one piece at a time, just in case the bottom piece sits proud of the top piece. That'll end up being funky, so I'd like to measure each piece, then I put it all together at once. So you can see here I cut long because I'm going to be scribing down. What a funky scribe line. Now, I'm not going to try to make it perfect, but I will get pretty close. Once again, just eyeballing on my mark with the table saw. Check it out. Looking pretty good. I could come down a little bit more, so I'll get a better fine line with the pencil. Go ahead and scribe it again, and it looks pretty good to me. I think I can make it work. So, go moving on to the next piece. This one's going to be an interesting one because I am running these corner trim pieces vertically from the floor to ceiling. So I wanted to cut a notch out right there. I'm just going to keep on working on the railroad, getting this next piece up right here. This was a nice and easy small piece. Just used that baseline there, scribe the bottom. Now, one thing about scribes, you'll notice I put the level on top before I scribe it, because I want to make sure that after I scribe it, it will sit flush and will be level. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple back and forths, get it nice and tight, move on to the next one. Now, I haven't installed any yet. They're all just dry fit. So I want to go ahead and do everything all at once, because if I install it and find out I need to raise one end, I don't want to have to take all that glue out and the nails. So I think right here I'm pretty happy. I'm going to go ahead and blow it out, get all the dust out, put some good sealant outside. I'm using Quad OSI Max here. Then I was going to finish nail this, but I decided to use some plugs. These are PVC screws. Go ahead and drive it in. It sets it at the right depth. Pre-drill, set it. And you'll notice I kick it out with some shims on top. So I want to make sure everything sits flush, plumb, and maybe a little bit proud, but everything is lined up. Next, I'll get these little PVC plugs. They come with the kit. I think it's an AZEC type screw with plugs, similar to decking screws and plugs. And we'll put some more sealant on the corner here. Make sure to shim that bottom piece out. Finish it up, put a nice bead of sealant there. Then I'll go over to the other side, do the same process. Go ahead and shim it, install it, and shoot it. Now here I wanted to make sure before I put my PVC trim, put some moist stop flashing. This is just a vapor barrier. That way any vapor that builds up behind this trim, well, at least won't soak up onto the OSB like you see the old siding had. Next, we're going to put our flashings right on top. It's just a drip edge. Put a little corner detail on that. Then when I wrap the house, it'll cover right over top of that. Any water that gets behind the siding will end up floating right off of that, and we won't be getting any water in our foundation. And that's it for the freeze board. Now I have a nice level surface, so when I cut my siding, everything will land nice and level. I finished wrapping up. Here's what it looks like when I finished the hardy siding. The painters got in there pretty quickly, so the owner wanted to add a post here. Put some nice T&G pine in the ceiling. Nice little light right there. I'm really happy with how it all turned out. We didn't end up painting that frieze board different color, but I think all in all it looks really clean, really nice, and perfect. Thank you for watching.